Let's get into one of the big stories around the world. Of course, that concerns also Nigeria. The price of crude oil is back jumping this morning. Overnight, the news about the an oil tanker that is on fire, the Gulf of Hormuz, that's the Gulf of Oman, I beg your pardon, the Gulf of Oman. That's where the news is coming through this morning, pushing oil prices back. The US WTI up about 2.56%. Nigeria's benchmark crude, the Brent, about 2.36%, also in the positive territory, looking at something close to $62 a barrel, just a shy of that as we speak. Bolanle Agbaje, one of the think tank at Financial Derivatives, is here in the morning. Big story there, but we'll get to the oil in just a second. But all through these holidays since Monday, it's all about the exchange rate issue for Nigeria. Should we float or not? Are we going to devalue or not? What's your position at the FDC?
Well, our position has always and remains, floating exchange rates, because that reflects, it's actually more or less the market's determined exchange rate. And, usually the benefits of that, according to economic theory, is that, investors will become more certain. They'll be able to, use the changes in interest rates to determine whether, they come into the market or they exit, like the way it's done in other countries. But, there's this theory in economics, the impossible trilemma, where you have monetary autonomy, free capital flows and fixed exchange rates. And at this point, well, we keep looking for, more capital flows within the country. So it's ideal that we move to the section where we're actually allowing for free capital flows and monetary autonomy, obviously retain our monetary autonomy. And to have that, you need a floating exchange rate. But from what we've seen is the fact that, parallel market rate, the IE window rate, they've all been converging to that, 360 number. And also we've got news that the custom duties rate is actually depreciated to 326, which is also moving in that direction. So it's the only impediment at the moment is the fact that the budget has the 305 naira to the dollar. So at least one or two transactions have to be
done at that rate. Yeah,
so,
but you've got to plan your budget on one hand. That's the budget. That's on the fiscal side. But you need to manage the market on the other side. Perhaps the central bank is trying to run away from a full float and try to achieve a convergence. Convergence means at the end of the day, you have that's what you call a handshake.
Yes.
As it were, of all the rates and nicely put together.
Yes.
But again, this is a conversation still ahead there. Let's talk about the oil prices. We were down to around $60 a barrel. And each time it looks like we're going to go below 60, something happens somewhere, then the price spikes up again.
Yeah, so initially we came in this morning trying to talk about the fact that we're now at the budget benchmark, what to do,
60-40.
how to brace ourselves to make sure that we're actually, we actually have enough in the excess crude account to actually fund the budget. But right now with the unexpected news, which is, normal for oil prices to react to that, but it's only temporary in the sense that oil prices would actually fall back to, the actual stories that really affect the prices at the moment. Even the fact that expectations of a reduction in the U.S. interest rates is not affecting oil prices the way it should, as way it's affecting other commodities within the global sphere. But right now, I think what's driving the oil market is the fact that U.S. production was supposed to decline by about 481,000 barrels per day, but it actually increased by about 2.2 million barrels per day. So U.S. production is ramping up significantly, and that's what's affecting oil prices at the moment.
It looks like a power play out there.
Yes.
Some folks just want to see this oil below 60. I understand. We're one of those who would like to see our head above the water. But let's squeeze in very quickly for about a minute or two the story around the cocoa market, the agriculture, because the two major global producers, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, have been in the news over the last 1 or 2 days about the new minimum price. We went through this a few months ago.
Yeah.
We thought that had been said, but it looks like this issue hadn't really gone away.
Yeah, so, despite the fact that cocoa price is their major source of revenue in these two countries, so they've come to the point where they're actually going to, make significant changes when it comes to, managing their revenue within their economies. I think currently, cocoa price is currently trading at about $2,500 per ton. And now they've had a meeting, well, Ivory Coast and Ghana are trying to make sure they create a floor price that's about $2,600 per ton. And what that means is that, despite what goes on between demand and supply, we should expect that prices wouldn't fall below that price.
I don't mind if we form something like an OPEC for
cocoa prices,
cocoa,
yes.
so that we can also decide, and I'm sure Nigeria will be part of that.
Yes, yeah, if we're serious about it, yeah.
Yeah. What number are we in terms of production?
Well, not as significant as what we expect.
Among the top 5,
yes,
globally speaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bolanle Baji, a member of the think tank at FDC, Financial Derivatives Company. Let's go back after the break. When Africa's richest man gets angry over some issues or upset, you need to take a listen. Let's take a listen to him when we come back after the break, talking about Aliko Dangote.